Silver. How bad do you want it? What sacrifices are you making to stack the shiny metals? Buying silver can be very addictive. What are you giving up in order to buy more? Sharing a little bit about my story, in general, I have always been a very frugal person. But after stacking, I would say that I have become even more financially responsible and disciplined. Part of it has made me less wasteful with my money as I evaluate the purchases I make even more and I start calculating with silver math. You know, you start thinking about how much things cost in silver value. If you're going to spend $20 on a purchase, you start thinking about, well, that could be almost an ounce of silver. What's better, this $20 trinket, or am I better off saving it to buy some shiny coins or rounds? Silver has helped me eliminate some of those impulse purchases that really don't add much value to my life and just take up some dollars out of my pocket. Many of those are at times impulse buys, things that I would buy maybe at a gas station as I'm walking out, some chips and soda or a candy or two. Those are $5, $10, $15 that easily add up. It can also add up for larger purchases too, like buying a new phone every 1 or 2 years. That can be $500 to $1,000 just because you want the latest and greatest. Instead, if you buy a new phone every 3 to 4 years, for example, that could mean an extra 20 ounces of silver or a quarter ounce or even half an ounce of gold, depending on what kind of phones you like to buy. If you scale it even further, buying a Toyota instead of a Lexus, or a new car every 10 years rather than every 5 years. Overall, it does make you think about what you spend your extra money on. And also on what you invest. I've probably invested more in other assets like equities since I started stacking silver. Just because it really does add another layer of creating wealth, to saving, to using money more wisely. It has affected me in other areas, not just stacking. So what are you sacrificing or giving up? At the same time, I think I've been able to stack a good stack while also making good investments, such as focusing on having an emergency fund and focusing more on having a bigger balance in my checking account and not feeling like I need to spend all the money that I have in my spendable accounts, as you would say. So again, what are you giving up? Stacking has made me more disciplined with money. In part, stacking has also made me have a greater urgency to make a little bit extra money. Even if you're comfortable financially, it's finding a side hustle or looking for extra hours or seeking another promotion. Not that you didn't have any incentives, whether it's families or beefing up your savings or retirement accounts, but it's just another layer that gives you that itch to make more, to earn more, so you can buy more. And the great thing with silver and gold is that you're saving. If you're buying silver, you're saving. If you're spending money on a nice piece of gold Perth coin, you're saving. If you're buying an American Gold Eagle or a Canadian Maple, you're saving. You're converting those dollars into money, and that's a great thing about it. So at first, it does become a sacrifice, but then it's more of a motivator. A simple motivation to add more, to save more. And then you end up finding out that you don't need all those things after all. All those things are being marketed. You don't need those brand name luxury cars or brand name watches or jackets or sunglasses or cell phones. All those things that give people quote unquote status. Because in reality, you're just paying for marketing. As far as quality goes, you can find quality products almost anywhere. At Costco, you could buy Kirkland brand clothing. I'm not saying you should go out and buy Kirkland outfits, but you really do start becoming more and more critical of where your money goes. And I think stacking has helped me in many ways. And you know, I've been able to stack, so that's a great win. I know that many of you new stackers may be going through this right now. That addiction phase where you try to salvage every single dollar that you can to buy another round or another coin or bar. And for those of us that have been doing it a little bit longer, you know, it does add discipline. And maybe you're able to save up 500, 1,000 for half an ounce of gold, or even a full, almost 2,000 for a full ounce of gold. It takes time and patience. And, there's great benefits to that. And let's say that you do end up losing 10% of the value of your silver due to premiums when you end up selling. But for most of us, that money would have been 100% gone to something else if we weren't stacking. So if you're giving up 10 to 20% premium to stay motivated, to stay stacking, that's a big plus. You could always argue and say, well, that money could have done better in equities if you bought stocks or in real estate. But a lot of times you forget that you may not have saved those $500, $1,000, those 200 ounces. You may have spent them away on random things. So I think there is value to consistency, and there's value to save in silver or gold. And I'm getting to that phase where I don't need that weekly purchase of silver to get that dopamine rush going. But it's been really helpful. Anyway, just wanted to share and see where everyone else might be around this perspective. What have you sacrificed, given up, or even gained for wanting to buy silver and gold? All right. Well, that's all I got for today. Have a good one.